What's up, everybody? I'm Jesse. This is my garage, and today I'm just going to answer some questions that I've received online. You guys are asking, so we're going to do a little Q&A on 300ZX. The first thing someone asked me is where they can get a Nissan 300ZX NA engine at, and there's a few different places, and it's going to probably depend on your comfort level or when you want to buy them. The first place I'm going to recommend that you probably go is going to be the safest place, and that's an Engine Depot, JDM California, JDM Orlando, JDM Engine Depot, and there's multiple ones out there. I would recommend them first, but they are going to be the most expensive. Usually they come with a warranty. A lot of it, like, it's a complete engine. A lot of times AC, alternator, power steering pump, good chance that there's going to be a transmission, ECU, uncut wiring harness. It's going to be very complete. They source their engines out of Japan when they recycle cars over there, and it's still a good running car. Japan can only have the car on the road for so long. It has to meet the strict guidelines to be on the road. It's an island. They can't have a bunch of old cars there. Keep cycling out their cars. And then we can get them. We can get the engines out of them. So they just we'll cut them out of the car, box them up, ship them over here. Usually get a warranty. It's going to be your best chance to get a good, clean running engine with some type of warranty and a company backing. All right, two other places I would source engines, and I have sourced engines from before, is a local scrapyard, local junkyard. And a lot of times, a lot of that inventory is they have some type of deal where it's all tied in together, and they can look at scrapyard, junkyards in other locations and see what their inventory is. So they might not have an engine or transmission or something you need at that local junkyard, but if they're good and they want to do the work, they can look it up and see what's in the area and order it in. And I actually ordered this engine right here. This is a 96 NA VG30. This is out of a J30 Infinity, but it's the same block. We're actually going to use that for something. I got this for a screaming deal. It's in great condition. Not going to be as complete as like a depot one. They took the alternator, power steering pump, and AC pump to resell those, and we're just buying the engine itself. But this is a great engine in good shape. They know it's running. We've got some sort of warranty tag. We're not just buying an unknown engine. So that what I would say there. I also got this transmission from a scrapyard, junkyard that sourced it from another junkyard's inventory. So, but it wasn't the first one that I called and talked to that I was able to get this from. I was referred to this junkyard from actually my brother, who has dealt with them. He delivers freight, so he delivered freight for me. He said, hey, call these guys, they're really good. Because I called some bigger ones like Bogger, Madison, and whatever. I don't know if they're like known throughout, but they're a bigger one over in Idaho, and they had no interest. They only look at their inventory. They don't pull from other junkyards. So you might have to call a couple and make some friends and find someone that actually likes to do the work. But if you can find them, they're good. These were a screaming good deal on this engine and transmission. Both super good deal, and I was able to find them. The third place where you might want to source an engine from is good old like Facebook Marketplace. I don't know, maybe Craigslist. I think that's like going away. Facebook Marketplace is definitely just like the new Craigslist. You're going to be buying from like peer-to-peer buying, and a lot of times you're not gonna get the warranty. You're not gonna know for sure. You're gonna want to make sure and do your due diligence and make sure you know what you're buying. Make sure you're knowledgeable about what you're buying, probably, because there's a good chance that the person might have something but not know very much about it and be selling it, or selling you a dream, or they bought it from someone that bought it from someone that bought it from somebody, and they don't know the condition. So this is an engine right here that I bought off Facebook Marketplace. That was bought off Facebook Marketplace by another buyer. So that's the one I bought from someone that bought it from somebody that had it. So it had been passed down a couple times. They didn't really know what they had. They knew it was in a wreck of a state, and they didn't want to deal with it. They got told a story on it. Luckily they were able to do it, but I knew what I was looking at. I knew what we could do on it. But this is in a lot worse shape. I mean, blown turbos, just rusted everywhere. It got left outside. You know, if you're buying from peer to peer, they're not professional on having their engine stored, make sure it's cared for. This supposedly was running beforehand, but it got left outside. If you're watching us tear this video, you're watching the video where we tear this down, make sure you go and check that out. You can see what we got on that. But there's good deals to be had on there too. It's not all like this. Just the thing about that is make sure you know what you're buying, that you can verify that it's in good condition and running. And yeah, so there's 3 different ways. The engine depot is going to be the most expensive. Probably used to not be like that until the last couple of years, but they have prices that went up on stuff. You can get a good deal on Facebook Marketplace, but I got a great deal at a scrapyard. These were cheaper than you can find these on Facebook Marketplace. That I got that engine and transmission out of a junkyard that, you know, you have some backing to it, a company that answer their phone, but it was a smaller junkyard, not your big corporate junkyards or whatever. Try the small guys that might be out there first, but there's 3 ways to do that. Let's go on to the next. Oh, and if I didn't make myself clear, I've used all 3 of those ways: junkyard, Facebook Marketplace, and I actually bought this engine right here, which is our SR20 that lives in my 240SX. I bought this from an engine depot back in like 2004, and it's been running awesome ever since. So that came straight from Japan. Yeah, so there's three motors right there: engine depot motor, junkyard motor, Facebook Marketplace motor. There's all 3 right in this garage right here. Another question somebody asked me was, they asked, is it worth it to put a cone air filter or just leave your stock airbox on your 300ZX? Well, I think putting a cone air filter is a rite of passage for someone that wants to modify their car or getting into it. I know there's a lot of car enthusiasts that are buying these 300ZXs now that want to get into modifying and all that stuff. So cone filter, yes, it's a rite of passage. Everybody got to put a cone filter on something. If the 300ZX is your first project car, good chance you're going to put one on that. Now that being said, the 300ZX that I bought had a cone filter on it when I bought it, and I actually ditched that and bought a stock airbox that I found on eBay. So if you do change your airbox out for a cone filter, somebody's probably looking for that airbox, because a lot of people want to convert their car back to OEM spec, and once you start changing stuff like that, you do kind of change the value of the car. Even though you put a really nice airbox on there, that's good. What you should do is keep the OEM box, and then if you sell the car, you can sell all the parts together. Like, here's the OEM airbox, I put this aftermarket one on there, that way the new owner can change it. That's actually a good selling point. They do take up room. The more you take apart your car, the more room that it takes up in your garage or storage or whatever. So a lot of people chuck them, can sell it on eBay, or you can just get some nice reusable K&N air filters for your airbox. If you have an NA, I personally don't think it's going to make the biggest difference, but it cleans up underneath that nose panel a little bit, and it's probably going to let some more air in there. And you're gonna get a reusable one. It's easier to clean and maintain. And then if you do go with the cone style air filter, what I would definitely, this would be a reason that I would go back and do a cone style air filter, is the PTU relocation kit that Z1 offers. They relocate it from on the front of the engine. You just take that wiring harness and tuck it right up underneath that nose panel. So the kit that they sell says that it needs to not have the stock airbox and have a cone filter on that. Now, if you have a twin turbo car, I would highly suggest going with some aftermarket filters and possibly that dual intake cone filter setup. So if you have a twin turbo car, yeah, definitely. If you have an NA, up to you. If you want to do it, I would highly hold on to that box or try and sell it and get some money out of it. Another question I got asked, which I think a lot of people they go to order their 120K service kit and they see the option that there's a Gates racing belt or the OEM belt. Now, it depends on what you want to do. The OEM belt is going to be perfect and just plenty of belt for you. If you do your change it in the regular intervals, which is 60,000 miles, the belt wants to be replaced. That's how Nissan manufactured it. So that's how that belt is designed to hold up to that. And then number 2 is you're not pushing the motor beyond the limits of what Nissan designed it for. Now, if you're building like a higher horsepower application engine, aftermarket turbos, aftermarket clutch, you know, aftermarket boost pressure, that kind of stuff, yeah, you could probably look into upgrading your belt. That's going to give you more performance than what the manufacturer originally intended to be. So that's where I'd use that belt. On the twin turbo engine that we will be building and putting in my 300ZX, we will be putting on like a Gates racing belt, because we're going to be producing more horsepower and pushing the engine a little bit further than just the regular stock application. So if you're NA and you're just kind of doing some bolt-ons, maybe exhaust, maybe that cone filter I talked about, the OEM belt is going to be more than enough belt for you. If you're going to stay on top of your maintenance, change it every 60,000 miles. Or if you just want a cool blue belt and want to do that, then go for it. But that's just my 2 cents on those 2 belts and what application they might be used for, and why you might want to get one, and why you might just want to stick with the OEM on my Nissan 300ZX, on the white one that we work on this channel. It's just got an NA engine in it right now, stock engine, stock air intake box, stock exhaust. I've just ordered the OEM belt to put on there, so I knew it was going to be good. You don't have to spend extra money on something we don't need to spend extra money on. We can spend extra money on other fun parts like wheels and tires, make sure our brakes are good, driveline issues, that like we had a driveline issue. So instead of spending money on just a racing belt for a non-racing car, let's be honest, we can spend it other places. All right, somebody else asked me about the driveline video when I repaired the driveline on my NA automatic car. Said, why didn't you just get a one-piece driveline? The one-piece driveline, we don't need to put a one-piece driveline on our NA automatic. We're gonna actually be changing this to 5-speed twin turbo. So when we do that, I will get a one-piece driveline. It was just cheaper and easier to replace that center carrier bearing than order a one-piece driveline that I probably won't be using here shortly. Somebody wanted to email me a technical question. You can definitely hit me up on email. Just go to shopjgarage@gmail.com and I will see that email. You can send me a question there. You can also hit me up in the comments on YouTube, on Instagram @Build Theory, and drop a comment there. Or if you have a question, just DM me. And then on Facebook @Build Theory as well, you can always message me there and hit me up with a question. So yeah, you want to email me, shopjgarage@gmail.com. All right, this is a little bit more fun question. What is a power goal for my NA to twin turbo conversion? Well, we are going to keep it a high compression NA engine and kind of looking at what numbers we can expect for that, and we'll just have low boost and kind of play with it there. The goal is E85 fuel, and it's all going to be up to tuning, and I don't think 400 horsepower is going to be out of the question. Anything after that I'll be super excited about, and as long as we don't blow it up, we'll be really good. So on what we're going to do is we're going to leave the NA compression block, higher compression, low boost on the turbos, and go from there and see what happens. I think we'll be able to do 400 horsepower pretty easily, and anything over that is going to be a huge plus. And all the people that are worried about the high compression engine, for one, we're going to be using E85 too. It's up to the tuning. And 3, if you look at the new Nissan Z car, it has the same compression as an NA 300ZX engine. This isn't 1989, 1990 anymore. This is 2021, so the tuning has got a lot better. A lot of people, you know, more stuff's available, more products that come out, more knowledge is done. So I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to boost this higher compression engine and not have any issues with that. And then the last thing is, yes, I am still running the max speeding rod coilovers. I daily drive this 300ZX down here in Florida. It's beautiful down here. I actually drive both of my cars a lot more down here because it's just beautiful down here and always cruising weather. And I'm still rocking the max speeding rod coilovers on the 300ZX. No problems at all. I couldn't even tell if you told me they were some super high-end ones or the max speeding rods and there was a difference in them. They are super smooth and handle amazing. I'm like super impressed with them so far, and they're just gonna stay on there until they blow up or something happens, but they're still going solid. So if you have any questions, go go ahead and hit me up down in the comments. Just start kind of compiling these questions, put them into video form. Maybe we'll do this live sometime. That would be cool too. And we'll just have a little Q&A on the 300ZX and how it's going. The garage is coming together. That means we can get back to projects. And I've got 2 engines over there. We're actually going to take apart that VG30DE TT that I picked up in Tampa a couple weeks ago. Start harvesting that for parts, see how bad it really is and what's usable, and then what we're actually going to sell out that to try to recoup some of the money. And yeah, that's it. So hit me up in the comments below. Also go down and support the garage, support the projects, support the knowledge that comes out. Shop JGarage.com, get some sweet merch there, new shirts, sweaters, because it is kind of cold, and it's that time of year, winter time, but it's coming up. Spring is coming. So thank you so much. I'll talk to you next time.